And this sees time with the lees for 30 months in bottle. And they do everything by hand there, hand disgorgement, hand labeling. Everything is handled with meticulous care. Friends, gird your loins. We're at it again here at Vinmaps Studio. Haha, just kidding. It's Suzi Perez here, of course, founder of Vinmaps. Wine lover, wine explorer, wine cartographer. When we're not creating these fabulous tasting videos, we create beautiful and informative wine region maps. And we also have a couple of spirits maps, a couple of really cool whiskey maps. And those are available for perusing and purchasing on vinmaps.com 24/7 at your leisure. But for today, let us get into the subject at hand, which is all about Dr. Konstantin Frank Winery and this Brut Méthode Champenoise sparkling wine. So if you've been following the channel, you know I love wines that tell a story. And this one, it's a blend of innovation, tradition, and craftsmanship. So pour a glass of bubbly or your beverage of choice and join me as we head to the beautiful Finger Lakes region of New York State. Dr. Konstantin Frank was not just a winemaker, he was a pioneer, a scientist. And when he arrived in New York in 1951, at the age of 52, with his wife Eugenia and their 3 children, think post-World War II timeframe, he didn't know English, actually, although he did know many other languages. So imagine going through Ellis Island with very few belongings and you're literally starting over, almost from scratch, really from scratch. Luckily for the Frank family, Dr. Frank and his wife Eugenia were very strong and were driven to get back on their feet and create something beautiful for their family. So that's sort of the setting. And then along with that, getting back to the wine, the Finger Lakes region at the time were mostly producing sweet hybrid wines. Very few people thought that higher quality European vinifera grapes like Riesling, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir could be produced here. But Dr. Frank believed otherwise, as he had already experienced growing these grapes in cold climates back in Ukraine. In 1962, at age 61, he opened Vinifera Wine Cellars with his first vintage. With patience, passion, persistence, and some bold experimentation, it's interesting to note that he actually experimented with over 60 varieties of vinifera. He was truly a scientist at heart, I think, based on what I've read, and he changed the course of East Coast winemaking, as well as had impacts on nationwide winemaking techniques, I'm sure, and those around the world. And his legacy continues with Megan Frank, his great-granddaughter, 4th generation of the winery. So of course there's a lot more to Dr. Frank and his family than we have time to discuss in this video today. And I do want to get to the wine, but I do want to say that it's certainly apparent that Dr. Frank and his wife Eugenia took the words grit, determination, passion, patience to a whole other level. Okay, so now we get to talk a little bit further about what's in the bottle here. And this is, of course, the 2018 Brut Méthode Champenoise, and that simply means that it is made in the traditional method that they use in Champagne, France, Champagne if you prefer. So those bubbles are created naturally with a second fermentation in the bottle. So this was blended from 55% Chardonnay, 40% Pinot Noir, and 5% Pinot Meunier. And it's really cool. The source for the wine is entirely from the historic Keuka Lake vineyards. And these vineyards were actually planted by Dr. Frank's son, Willie Frank, who actually planted them for the sole purpose of making world-class sparkling wines. So the Keuka Lake vineyards, estate vineyards, Keuka Lake is actually west of Seneca Lake. That area is also Seneca Lake American viticultural area. And then the Finger Lakes themselves are all encapsulated within the greater Finger Lakes American viticultural area. So the lakes, of course, have a moderating effect on the climate and the vineyards, of course. And also, it's pretty cool, the Finger Lakes were formed by glaciers receding, so therefore the soils they're rich in shale and gravel, and this also affects the vineyards, right? And then what can be grown there. As well, there are steep slopes and great drainage and aeration. The elevation is about 715 feet, so all these things combine for wonderful terroir. The grapes are hand harvested, whole cluster pressed, and only the finest juice is used. Okay, so I'm ready to open this. How about you? And they have a nice little tab for me right there, so we can do this easily. Beautiful leaf there. Their insignia. And this sees time with the lees for 30 months in bottle. And they do everything by hand there. Hand disgorgement, hand labeling. Everything is handled with meticulous care. Woo! Finally. Wow, smells amazing. Okay, I present 2018 Brut Champenoise, Dr. Konstantin Frank Winery. Okay, so let's pour this beautiful wine. Ah, beautiful bubbles. Fine, beautiful bubbles. And a gorgeous color. Golden straw, just light gold. Beautiful, creamy brilliance. Wow. Kinds of beautiful, crisp zest, some citrus notes for sure. Wow, beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna taste. This is 12% ABV, by the way, with I think less than 1% residual sugar. Okay, it was worth the wait. So worth the wait. Wow. Gorgeous. That bright acidity is right there, crisp, dry. Some crisp, tart apple there for me. Maybe a little bit of pear. Zesty citrus notes. It's got a nice heartiness to it as well, though. It's very full, even though it's dry and light at the same time. But you can just tell the care taken with this wine. Just fine, beautiful bubbles. And now I'm getting that brioche note, that hallmark of traditional method. Delicious, velvety smooth. And this I think would pair with everything from seafood, oysters, for instance, to any chicken dish you might have, or really could go with just about anything. and how festive. Wonderful to take to a party or celebration of any kind. Holidays are coming up. Thank you all for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider doing a like and subscribe. And also, I did want to say Dr. Konstantin Frank Winery does make over 40 wines, and so definitely check out their website. They have Gruner Veltliner, Sauvignon Blanc, and the Georgian Katsiteli, Gewürztraminer, and the list goes on. So definitely check them out, and a slew of wonderful sparklings as well. So for now, signing off, Suzi Perez, Vinmaps. Thanks so much for joining me, and take care.